Yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Clouds and welcome back to my channel. Alright, so in today's video we're actually going to be going over the first of its kind. I've never done a Deepwoken update video or Deepwoken news video. This is actually going to be the first of its kind. So update for Deepwoken just dropped at around this morning. It was like 10 a.m. this morning and it's got a lot of people upset. It's got my boy Revolver Axe uploading this video. It's got Bohemian uploading this video. I don't think Bohemian was upset about it, but regardless, there's a lot of people upset. They literally locked to general because so many people were just complaining. And before we actually get into the patch notes, me personally, I think this update wasn't all that bad. There was a lot of things in this update that they did good, and there was a lot of things that they actually did bad, to be honest. It really all just depends on your outlook on it. But I'm going to be going over why the community is upset about it. I do understand why the community is upset about it, to be honest with you. I really do. I do understand why the community is upset about it, about this update. There were some things that were kind of unnecessary that could have been changed, I guess. But for the most part, it wasn't that bad of an update. Or at least not as bad as everyone's really making it out to be. But yeah, let's get into the patch notes and see what we're dealing with here, boys. Alright, so first off, going over the patch notes that we see. Let's just start off by going over everything that was added, and then we'll just kind of, you know, talk about why the community's upset about it. All right, so first of all, the new content. So they added 2 new rings, which, you know, nothing really too special. And then Ali to now sponsor your own chest upon completion. So that's, you know, 2 pieces of content, I guess. And then they added secure soul binding, which soul binding and enchant now logs you as the sole owner of that enchanted weapon. Weapons that have already been soulbound will automatically be soulbound again following this update. You shouldn't have to do anything. If you lose your enchant following this update and you traded for it, it's likely you were traded a duped weapon. So I guess now the soulbound enchant trading is no longer a thing, because as soon as you pick up the enchant, it logs you as the sole owner of that enchant or curse. So this kind of killed a core aspect of the game, in my opinion, or not even really like a core aspect of the game, but trading and the whole trading community was definitely a thing that was helping a lot of players that couldn't get enchants or had bad luck getting enchants. You know, trading them, it was another way you could get an enchant. But it seems like with this now in the game, you can no longer even trade enchants. Now, I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding this completely, so if I am, let me know down in the comments below. But what I'm reading right now is kind of, you know, what I'm understanding it. Like, you know, soul binding and enchant now logs you as the sole owner of the enchanted weapon. So I guess that's how that works. So now the next thing is the thing that literally everyone's mad about this update. This is the main thing everyone's complaining about, and it is enchantment balancing. The best way I can describe this is every enchant just basically got gutted. But let's read it. So enchanted effects have been reduced across the board. So as you guys can see, they did end up nerfing basically every enchant in the game that there is to nerf. They're still strong and useful, but not as build defining as before. Some of the weaker enchants haven't been touched. So this is the part of the update that I kind of agree with. Most of the rest of the update I don't really agree with as much, but this is the part of the update that I really agree with. It got to the point where the game was pretty much revolved around RNG, and if you had an enchant, you were pretty set for winning. Not saying that you can't beat a user that has an enchant, because obviously it really all comes down to skill, but some of the enchants were really actually busted. Like, some of them just gave you a stupid advantage, and it made the game too RNG based. And I know a lot of people like that. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, it's meant to be RNG based, you know, but it's just kind of weird how someone could get a really broken enchant, like as a power 1 on lower Arisia, and then, you know, they're just pretty much set because they got that enchant. And I feel like that's the issue that they wanted to address with the game, and that's why they wanted to balance it so badly. But moving on, Curse of the Bloodthirsty now takes 2% of your health for missing attacks and gives 10 extra % for damage for landing. Also reduce the blood it takes. So Curse of the Bloodthirsty, if you miss a swing, you now lose 2% of your health, which is quite a bit more than it was before. But it now deals 10% extra damage for landing. So the damage there is pretty insane. I feel like that's not too bad. Curse of the Bloodthirsty probably isn't as good as it was before due to that slight nerf, but the damage buff is pretty good, I would say. Obfuscation, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Obfuscation, swing speed lowered to 10%. Obviously that affects it quite a bit. Seer now steals thirst equal to 1/3 of your damage. So Seer used to be really broken in the sense that, like, it would make the person like really thirsty, and then eventually, like, let's say the water was in the fight was in the water, they would just drown because, you know, lack of hydration. But now they kind of balance that out to where it does reswing, you know, take away an insane amount of hydration. They balance it to where it only does 1/3 of your damage. So I guess it just scales out with your damage, like the damage you're dealing. Curse of the No Life King, boys. This is the update that kind of made Curse of the No Life King pretty useless. Like, if you have Curse of the No Life King, I would honestly say just don't even use it at this point. It's not terrible, but, you know, it's just not as good as it used to be. So, Curse of the No Life King, regen lowered, and you now have 2.5 times faster blood loss from attacks. So, the regen got lowered, which is really the only thing anyone even really wanted it for. And now your blood loss is 2.5 times faster from attacks. So you're going to be losing blood like crazy. Now the thing about Curse of the No Life King that I really liked before was that on every hit it grants, you know, the enemy insanity. If you hit the person enough, if you have the Curse of the No Life King, eventually the person you're fighting screen will be completely blue from how many hits they're taking. And that's what made that curse like really good in my opinion. But Curse of the No Life King is pretty gutted now. I really don't even recommend using it. The downsides don't even outweigh the good sides. I mean, the good sides don't even outweigh the downsides. I said that backwards, my bad, but there's just too many downsides to this curse now. The blood loss, you know, the fact that you're always on 1 life, and now the regen is nerfed. Like, this curse is gutted. Next one, fixed elastic, proccing 100% of the time. I mean, that didn't really gut elastic. That just kind of made it more balanced because it was just always proccing. So, you know, I guess fixed grim, doing bonus damage. Again, kind of sucks. Entanglement damage reduction nerfed to 10%. Viscosity now takes damage by 10 instead of 35. Blazing enchant damage no longer scales. Storm enchant AoE damage no longer scales. Metal enchant now takes 5% from that instead of 19% armor per swing. So yeah, those are all the enchant balancing that pretty much everyone was mad about. I'm pretty sure it was a mixture of enchant trading no longer being a thing, as well as basically every enchant being gutted, for why most people are mad about this update. Which, like I said, this is the part of the update that I agree with, really. The enchantment balancing. Enchantments were really kind of an issue. Some enchants were just straight up busted and broken. But now that they got some balancing, I feel like it should be a little better. Alright, so let's look at the regular balancing now. I feel like some of these balancings are kind of and some of them are fine. So Gale Punch damage scaling nerfed. This is fine. Gale Punch actually did a crazy amount of damage. Not many people knew about this. I did because, you know, I main Gale. Gale's my main element. But Gale Punch actually did a stupid amount of damage. Even at low levels, high levels, everything. It just it is stupid amounts of damage. Like, I was like level 40, 1v1ing my friend who's also level 40. He was like around the same level, same stats and everything. We had pretty much the same gear, just different element. I would use Gale Punch. Gale Punch would deal with like probably like 20% of his health, bro. 20, maybe even more percent of his health, which is pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Air Force damage buff significantly. Air Force sucks, so that doesn't really mean anything. Gale Elite doesn't take you as far when low health. I think this is an alright change. Lightning Kick damage buffed and range modifier buffed. Lightning Assault range is now scaled down at low health. Lightning Cloak dashes are now normal dashes when swimming. This kind of sucks because that was one of the things Lightning Cloak and Lightning really was really good at, dealing with runners, especially in water. But now, you know, it's obviously no longer there. You can no longer reset the cooldown of Lightning Cloak with Blessed Gems. That also sucks. Reduced healing multiplier for Saint Jade, and it now has a cooldown. Ice Skate Wind Startup increased. You can no longer regenerate ether while using Ice Skate. That's definitely, that sucks. Ice Spike's damage now output is cut in half if it's a trap. Bloodless healing now has a cap per proc. Fist of Fortitude duration reduced, which that sucks. You know, I like fists, so that definitely sucks. Revenge range scaling lowered. Legion Kata grapple range lowered slightly. They've been nerfing Legion Kata like crazy amounts. And nerfed Hero Sword base damage. This is right here another change that I didn't really agree with. Hero Sword base damage nerf. Hero Sword is now weaker than like a lot of weapons. It's rarer than like Shattered Katana. I'm pretty sure it's weaker than Shattered Katana now. So now all you people that have Hero Sword builds with like, you know, 100 magic or whatever element you're going, the damage is quite a bit lowered now. Damage is quite a bit lowered now. We're not gonna go over the bug fixes just because, you know, I just feel like there's not really much point. But yeah, that's pretty much most of the balance changes that everyone's really mad about. And me personally, like I said, I agree with some of it. I don't agree with some of it. The hero sword buff, or not buff, nerf, it's kind of unnecessary in my opinion. I feel like that should have been kept the way it was. The enchantment and curse nerfs, I feel like some of them were necessary, but some of them were kind of like the curse of the no life king. They literally just basically made curse of the no life king completely useless. Like if you have that curse now, I would say just trade it right away. And as for the first change, I don't like. Let me know again if I was misunderstanding what that was in the comments below. But the way I understood that is you can no longer trade enchants anymore because it just automatically becomes soulbound as soon as you pick it up or whatever. Again, let me know if I'm misunderstanding that. But if that's true, that kind of sucks. That took away a core aspect of what could have been in the game. Like, you know how GPO has the whole trading community thing. I feel like that could have been dope in Deepwoken. You know, communities trading, you know, enchants and curses. It would have been dope, man. It would have been dope. But if they took that away, that's definitely a no. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of this. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this in the comments down below. This is my first time doing an update or, you know, news video like this. So kind of excited, you know, to do that for the first time. Again, I mean, I agree with some of the things. I don't agree with some of the things. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about it, though. Anyways, it's been your boy Clouds, and I'll see y'all in the next one, boys. Peace.